In this video, I invite you to join me as we explore Kapitel Chaf, chapter 20, Yancha Hashem B'Yom Tzorah, which David composed as his forces were going out to war. The context of this chapter is that from the time that David HaMelech ascended the throne, there were those who questioned his right to rule. Certainly amongst his enemies, but even amongst the Jewish people themselves, there were those who questioned his right to be king. And they would be quick to point out to his failures, or perhaps his defeats, and certainly the rebellions from his own children, that these were indications that Hashem did not really want him to be king. And therefore, when David HaMelech would go out to war, that was one of his primary concerns, that if he were to lose, that it would again give strength and ammunition to those people. Certainly he was concerned for his own people and his loss of human life and the success of his army. But additionally, there was this underlying concern that people would therefore use this as ammunition to say that David HaMelech was not the rightful king. And therefore the Mefarshim have explained that David HaMelech composed this kapitel to be said by the Levim, that they should daven to Hashem, that not only should they be successful in war, but Hashem should send heavenly assistance, and that it should be clear that the victory was a validation of not only the Jewish people, but that David HaMelech's right to rule. There are other Mefarshim who explain that this kapitel was actually composed later in time, when David HaMelech was asked by his own generals not to go out to war anymore, as he had become older and they were afraid for his life. And therefore David HaMelech composed this kapitel for he himself to say, when he had to stand on the walls of Yerushalayim, knowing that the army was out and fighting a battle, that Hashem should assist them, and it should be one of a miraculous victory. So again, people would be able to understand that Hashem wanted David HaMelech to be the rightful king. Therefore, the theme of this kapitel is that we are Hashem's chosen people, just like David HaMelech was Hashem's anointed king. And just like David HaMelech didn't want that glory for himself, but rather he wanted to be able to validate that Hashem was Melech HaOlam and Hashem was the true ruler. And therefore all of the victories were not only to be able to save the Jewish people, but to be able to create a Kiddush Hashem. So too, we are looking for our own success, but the success should be able to validate that Hashem is Melech HaOlam. And now let us explore the words. Lamnatseach Mizmor LeDavid. This was a praise that was composed by David HaMelech. Yancha Hashem B'Yom Tzorah. May Hashem answer you in the time of trouble. Yisagevcha Shem Elokei Yaakov. May the God of Yaakov save you. The reason why David HaMelech chooses to use this title as Elokei Yaakov is because Yaakov was the one who went into exile, and Hashem promised him to bring him back safely. And therefore we invoke that promise to protect us today. Furthermore, many of the enemies we fight are from Yishmael and from Esav. And therefore again we invoke the name of Hashem that applies to us alone as the descendants of Yaakov Avinu and the Shvatim. Yishlach Ezracha Mikodesh, may he send you help from his holy place. Umitzion Yisadeko, and support you from Tzion. We ask that the help that Hashem sends us will be clear that it comes from Hashem and will not be attributed to any other powers or from any other place, and will come out a Kiddush Hashem. Yizkor kol minchosecho, may Hashem remember all of the different promises that we have made during this time. And our prayers should be accepted like a carbon oilo and carbonis in the Beis Hamikdash. Yitem l'chol kivavecha, may Hashem give you what your heart desires, which is to be able to succeed in this battle and to return our captives. V'chol atzoscha yamalei, and all of the plans that the army makes should be fulfilled and be successful. Niranu b'shuasecha, and let us get together and praise Hashem as He saves us. But it won't be for ourselves that we are praising, but Hashem Elokeinu Nigdol, we will gather together in the name of Hashem. Yamalei Hashem kol mishalasecha, as Hashem fulfills all of our requests. And what will we say? We want everyone to be able to say, Atu Yodati. Now I know, Ki Yoshi Hashem Mishichoi, that Hashem has saved His anointed people, His chosen king. Yaneu Mishmei Kochoi. And He answers us from His holy abode. Bigvus Yesha Yeminoi. And He uses with His right arm, He will be able to provide a mighty redemption. And we indicate His right arm because that means we're asking for the miracles. Let it be in a way that's not b'derech hateva. Let it be in a way where everyone will be able to recognize that it came from Hashem. Some trust in chariots and others in horses. And today that translates into physical might, advanced technology, and powerful weaponry. But we, even as we use those same elements, we trust. Anachnu b'shem Hashem Elokeinu nazkir. We call out in the name of Hashem and recognize that our success and our victories come from Him. Hema korav v'nafalu. Those people will fall and stay down. V'anachnu kamnu v'nisadod. But we will rise up and we will overcome, just as we have done over the centuries and the millennia. The Jewish people have succeeded in maintaining our identity and our understanding that we come from Hashem, and Hashem is the one who runs the world, and that it is Hashem who is successful. And as we testify, Hashem Hoshia, Hashem has saved us. HaMelech Yanenu V'yom Kareinu. Our King has answered us on the day we have called. As true as it was in the days of David and Melech, so too it's true today. There are those who question our right to live in this land. There are those who question, are we indeed Hashem's chosen people? So we ask Hashem and we daven that only should our army be successful, and that the victory should be at hand, and that we should be able to return the captives, and we should be able to live in a time of safety. But we want it to be clear that it was all done by Hashem, and that Hashem is the one who runs the world. And it is Hashem who has chosen us to be His people, and it is Hashem who has chosen us to give us His land. May we all be zoichet to see that true revelation. May we be able to see Mashiach Tzidkenu. And may we all be able to call out and say, Hashem Hoshia, Hashem has saved us, HaMelech Yanenu V'yom Kareinu. And Hashem has answered us on the day we call. If you would like to make sure that you receive these videos in the future, please log on to the website chinuchcoach.com. After a couple of seconds, a pop-up will appear and you'll be able to input your email address to sign up for these weekly videos.